The capacity of machines to learn is a concept very interesting and very cool, especially for people of computer science, like me. We have been inspired by movies and sci-fi comics. I mean, who wouldn't like to build his own Jarvis system like Tony Stark? Or maybe a C-3PO robot that can translate everything for you. That would be great, right? But maybe, in the real world, we need a little more time for this. In movies, we have been seeing robots talk like a normal person to others, but how are they able to do that? Well, there is a current in artificial intelligence that is focused on understanding human language, and this is what we call natural language processing. Machine learning, deep learning, and natural language processing are all part of artificial intelligence, but what about the relationship between them? Well, as you can see in the picture, they kinda overlap a little. These different kind of artificial intelligence complement each other so we can get better results using a combination of them. In the real world, we have seen an application of natural language processing. Search engines like Google and Yahoo are what we call information retrieval. Others, like Google Translate, are called machine translation. And there are others too. Some of them even classify human emotions. I see chatbots as another example of what we talked before, and also as an interface between humans and learning algorithms. Nowadays, they are commonly used in several websites. They serve the purpose to guide humans through the content of the site, or to retrieve specific information. And now we are gonna build a chatbot, but we are not gonna build it from scratch. We are gonna use products that already exist in the market, in this case, products of Azure Cloud Services. And just in case, this is the Microsoft family. To keep this simple, we are gonna use just two products, a bot web application and a cognitive service for a language understanding named LUIS. That is a machine learning based service that will help us to build a natural language into an application. We start with the bot web application on Azure. We need to complete some parameters to finish this step. The parameters we see on the screen are the most basic ones. And then we wait until Azure finishes creating the services for us. If we test the basic implementation from before, we can validate that the chatbot responds with the exactly same text that we input. So for now, our bot is not very smart. So, next step. Now we can create our LUIS application that will be in charge of the natural language understanding part of the chatbot. We can use the same account of Azure. Here we have several tools. I believe the most important ones are the intents and the training of the intents. We create intents as a form of classification because the natural language that comes from the chatbot will be interpreted by LUIS and then set a classification for each input. In the example, all the different texts are some kind of greeting, and the greeting is the intent. After we finish with the intents, we will need to train LUIS, and then we will get a continuous value between 0 and 1 for each text that we input, in the intent of course. This value will represent how much the text approached to the intent. For the tools that we will need for development, we go back to the web application, where we can find the online editor. In this case, it's JavaScript. Other useful tools are the output view and the console view of the web application, of course. To integrate the chatbot with LUIS, you will need three parameters: the LUIS hostname, LUIS application ID, LUIS subscription key. You will find those parameters on your LUIS application and in your LUIS account settings. Also, you will need to install the modules that you see on the screen. We are in the index file and we need to add some lines. Line 2. Call all the modules that we installed before. Call the environment parameters from the web application and setting the noise recognizer. What we see on the screen is an example of the response of Luis when we type hello. As you can see, the response have more than one intent with different score value. Of course, we choose the top score intent, but if this intent is not correct, we need to train Luis a little more. To create a more dynamic chatbot, you will need more information. So I share with you this website, where you will find plenty of examples. After all the steps and more lines of code, we test again our chatbot, that now can give you a proper response. Well, I hope you enjoyed this presentation and keep learning. Bye!